Hi Cancer, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. I'm going to go ahead and put these cards back, but like I was saying, in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Cancer and Capricorn on Thursdays. Also, for those of you guys who are interested, the deck that I'm using today is called the Crystal Visions Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in getting a personal reading, the link is in the description below. Also, just as a heads up, sometimes the cards like to flip over in the deck. I do see them. However, I really only take these cards to jump out. And usually, if they come out in groups that are too big, I'll go ahead and put them back. Also, my goal here is to get you guys roughly 8 or 9 cards, and then we can get started on your reading. Right, so with that out of the way, I'm just going to keep shuffling until I get roughly 4 more cards, and then we can get started on your reading. Ooh, we had a card that flew all the way out, and then jumped back into the deck. I've never seen that before. So I'm just going to try to pull one more card for you guys, and then we can get started with your overall energy. So the Page of Swords here was that card that flew out just now. So clearly it was very much meant for you guys to come out. But before we get started on the reading proper, I do want to let you guys know that in case you enjoy the reading, the best way to let me know is by leaving a like or a comment. I really love to read your guys' comments in the situation. But I do want to let you guys know that your overall energy here is the Ace of Pentacles. Now, the Ace of Pentacles is actually a really good energy to have as your overall energy because it comes with stability, right? So it tells us that there's stability coming in, some kind of a new beginning and stability, and the aces are symbolic of that new beginning, whereas the pentacle symbolizes that sort of material stability, that 3D physical realm kind of an energy. So I think that you guys are going to see a lot of improvement when it comes to anything that has to do with stability. So anything that has to do with finances or money or even just like your living arrangement, I feel like is going to be improved in some way, shape, or form. And for some of you, I'm hearing relationship stability. So there's going to be a change in stability for a lot of you guys in your relationships. Now, some of you guys might be going through breakups. I'm getting that very strongly. And, you know, even though that may feel at first like it's not contributing to the stability, I feel like in the long run, it is for your higher good, because it will provide stability for you in the sense that you're no longer dealing with a relationship that isn't quite functioning, right? And obviously that's an extreme word to use, but, you know, when we are in that situation and the relationship just cannot go on, usually it's because there is that huge instability, something in there that's causing that energy. And because we have the Ace of Pentacles here, you're going to see that sort of level itself out, right? Regardless of what your situation is. And that was a message that I'm getting very strongly for someone out there. But sort of going on to your reading proper, instead of just channeling messages, we see the Chariot card and the Two of Cups in reverse. Now, the Chariot card to me is actually really good news because you guys are Cancer, and the Chariot card is representative of the astrological sign of Cancer. So I think that for a lot of you guys right now, you feel like you're very much in your element. I think that a lot of you guys are sort of looking good, feeling good, really ready to take on the world. And you're sort of in that mindset where everything can be achieved. And I feel like part of that is because you're in this Chariot energy where you're moving away from this energy of feeling trapped or confined, and you're going towards much more powerful energy, right? And I didn't want to mention, or rather, I saw it, but I didn't mention it right away, but I looked at the timer on my video and it was at 444, so I think that you guys might be dealing with a lot of powerful synchronicities right now. I don't know right off the top of my head what 444, the repeating angel number, means, but I do know that it has to do with stability, I believe. So, like I was saying, the Ace of Pentacles energy, there it is again. But you have the Two of Cups. Now, the Two of Cups to me is sort of like that channel message I was talking about earlier. When I see the Two of Cups in reverse, that's when I know that the differences in the relationship are really being felt. So I think that now is a really good time to really feel out what it is that, like, what the differences are in the relationship, right? Because, you know, obviously two different people are going to be very different, and it all comes to a head after you've really gotten through that honeymoon phase, because that's when, you know, the disagreements start to happen. And I feel like most of you guys have been through it all before, but I feel like now is a real good time to be proactive about it and really sort of take inventory and have kind of like a game plan for what you want. Because I'm looking at the Seven of Cups, or sorry, the Seven of Wands here, and the Seven of Wands is the card of worth fighting for. So I feel like this feels very worth fighting for a lot of you guys. And you have the Eight of Wands and the Two of Swords. I think that in the past, in this connection, and like this has taken a turn, and it's certainly about love now at this point, but with this connection, the Two of Swords here leads me to believe that in the past there was indecision, and there was sort of this confusion and indecisiveness and just all around not taking action, you know, very stalemate energy. And I'm hearing very stale energy for a lot of you, even though that's not really a meaning very much associated with the Two of Swords. But I'm feeling that now you're exiting that energy and you're really moving in a way that's decisive and strong. And movement is very important because you have the Chariot card, which is the card of movement, right? And then you have the Eight of Wands, which is really powerful energy because this is one of my favorite cards. Oftentimes it's called the Arrows of Love. Sorry. But it's called the Arrows of Love. So I think that there's going to be a lot of communication, a lot of fast-paced communication with you and a particular lovebird. It also symbolizes fast communication, right? So I think that you guys are going to get a lot of that back and forth energy, and it's going to be in a positive way because you have the Seven of Wands energy, right? And I do want to mention the symbolism of the 7 going into 8, which to me feels like progression. But like I was saying, you have the Seven of Wands and the King of Pentacles. So I feel like this person, sorry, the King of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like this person is very much the King of Pentacles in reverse, right? They are not the most stable person in the world. And I feel like you have a little bit more of that stability because you have this Ace of Pentacles and you have that stability that's coming in. But I feel like this person, who I believe to be your partner, feels like this at the very least. Even if they're not terribly unstable when it comes to money, they certainly feel this way. So I think that a little bit of reassurance could go a long way, but also do acknowledge that there, you know, may be some issues in finances, right? I feel like this is a good time to really sit down and like talk budgeting and talk like whatever it is you want to do, right? I know that that's a scenario more for somebody that's like moved in with this person, or whatever, but I feel like either way you need to sort of kind of talk about money a little bit. Even if it's not like the actual money, even if it's just like the more emotional bits that are associated with stability, right? Because there's like emotional stability that comes from, there's emotional stability that comes from being physically and materially stable, right? And I feel like that's what this person is really lacking. They don't have that. They don't have that reassurance, that self-confidence. And, you know, you're over here saying, well, this relationship is worth fighting for. So like that's the kind of energy that I see. I see that this person is very self-conscious when it comes to money. And there's the Knight of Pentacles, which to me feels like they want to come forth and offer you some kind of a message that has to do with money or stability. So I feel like they want to be the ones to give you your material stability, even though that you're certainly going to go about it by yourself, but they just can't. And I feel like that really sort of wreaks havoc on their ego because I feel like this person really likes to provide, and perhaps even in the past they have been providing, or maybe, you know, if you guys aren't at a stage where you've been like moved in together or whatever, maybe they took you out on like really nice dates or brought you a lot of gifts or whatever, and now that that's sort of not there anymore, they feel very much like up in the air and like they're not worthy, even though that you see that the connection isn't any different because they have more or less money, right? And here I'm looking at this Page of Swords, and that's sort of that breakup message that I was talking about earlier, right? Because the Page of Swords can sometimes be that way. It's an intellectual message, a message of the mind, right? So I feel that this person is sort of compartmentalizing their emotions away from the situation, and they're sort of making a lot of head over heart decisions, because the Page of Swords can sometimes, you know, even though they bring a message, they're not the best at sort of the emotional aspect of the message. So I think that they're lacking in on that, and they're not really listening to their heart. And I know it's very sort of cheesy and cliche to say, oh, listen to your heart. But, you know, there's a reason that's cliche, and there's a reason everyone says the same thing. It's because you'll be so much happier if you listen to what your heart wants and use your mind to get there. Also, I looked at the timer again, and it was at 11:11, so, you know, that's even more confirmation for what I'm saying. So, all in all, be patient with this person. I think that they're having a rough go about it. I don't sense any, like, really toxic energy from them, even though I do feel like they're not necessarily the best or easiest to deal with. I think that a lot of you guys have seen that this person gets really, like, like they like to lash out when they have these kinds of problems. So, you know, take it however you see fit. But that was your reading first time around, Cancer. If you enjoyed, please leave a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel, and I personally really love to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new videos for Cancer and Capricorn on Thursdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.